Welcome to the Better Life Podcast. I'm April. So glad you're listening or watching today. If it's your first time to the Better Life Podcast, welcome. So glad to have you here. If you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to do that today. We have some new videos that have come out. My mom and I just did one on praying over your kids. It's prayers, it's scriptures, it's something that you can play over and over in your home. It's good stuff, y'all. You can check it out on YouTube. Today in this episode, I want to talk to you about this. Don't tell everyone. Let me start by telling you one of my favorite quotes. It's this: a wise man once said, nothing. I love that. What does that mean to me? We don't have to tell everybody about our business. We don't have to tell everybody what's going on in our lives. You've heard the quote, one of the most expensive things you can do is pay attention to the wrong people. Let me just add this to it. One of the most expensive things you can do is tell the wrong people about your dreams, your passions, and God's vision that He has for your life. Because you know why? Not everybody is for you. I know that's a shock. Not everybody needs to know your every move. You don't have to make noise to make moves, in case you didn't know. Not everybody needs to know what season of life that you're in. See, you have to protect your purpose. You have to protect your passion. You have to protect the dreams that God has placed in your hearts. So let me break it down for you a little bit more. You don't have to let everyone know what you're passionate about. You don't have to post it on social media, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Someone wrote this about Facebook. This is for couples who flaunt their love on Facebook, then suddenly go quiet and break up. You need to tell us exactly what happened. We've invested a lot of time, likes, and comments on your pictures and posts. We need closure too. I love that. You've got to guard your world. You've got to guard your passion. You've got to guard your purpose. You've got to guard your life. You don't have to tell everyone everything about your life. Use wisdom. Guard your life like it's something precious, because it is. This is your story. Don't play around with it. Don't risk it. Guard it like it's something valuable. You know, I'm protective of my purpose. I'm protective of my passion. I'm protective of my prayers and who I allow to pray over my life. I'm protective of my conversations because, let me tell you something, folks. Some people won't be able to handle your dreams. They won't be able to handle your vision. They won't be able to handle your successes. Some people won't even be able to handle how you've changed and how you've grown and how you've gotten better in life. Some people won't believe in you. I know, that is shocking. You know, some people simply saw Jesus as Joseph's son, a carpenter, and he was the Messiah. Jesus had to tune out those naysayers, and he had to guard his passion, he had to guard his purpose, and he had to do what God called him to do on this earth. I think about when my dad passed away many years ago in 1999. My family was faced with who's going to pastor the church. The church has no pastor, and my dad had pastored for over 60 years. 5 of us, and we felt very unqualified. And I remember thinking, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? How are we ever going to fill my dad's shoes? Long story short, God spoke to my brother Joel to pastor the church. Let me tell you something. A lot of people greeted him with cheers and cheering him on, but there was a lot of people who didn't. People said things like, you know, he's not like his dad. He doesn't preach like his dad. Even one newscaster, a few minutes after my dad had passed away, gave the statistic that if a son or daughter pastored the church, it would more than likely fail. Not such good news. But you know what? Joel had to stay focused. He had to do what God had called him to do. He had to step into the shoes and pave the path that God had planned for his life. Not everybody will understand your dreams. Not everybody will understand your purpose. You've got to stay focused. Guard your mouth. Don't tell everybody what God has called you to do, because you know what, folks? People will try to talk you out of your destiny and out of your dreams. They may not have bad intentions, but you know, certain words can discourage you. It can bring you down. It can cause you to lose hope. The less you respond to negative people, the more positive your life will become. Choose who you're going to surround your life with. The truth is this: people will propel you or they will derail you. The choice is up to you. You've got to know your purpose, you've got to know your calling, and you've got to be more determined than the naysayers. Don't get sidetracked by people who aren't on track. There was a little girl, 6-year-old girl. She was in Sunday school, and she learned the story of Jonah being swallowed by the whale. Oh, she loved that story so much. She could hardly wait to get to school the next morning to tell her teacher about the story. That's exactly what she did. When she told the teacher smiled, and she said, "That's a great story, but it's physically impossible." See, even though the whale is the largest mammal, its throat is not big enough to swallow a human. Great story, but it's not true. That little girl said, "Yes, my Sunday school teacher told me that story. It's in the Bible. It is the truth." Frustrated the teacher. She said, "No, I'm telling you, it's not the truth. It's physically impossible." That little girl got a little sass on her, and she looked at the teacher and she said, "You know what? I don't know how it happened, but when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask Jonah." That irritated the teacher a little bit more, and she looked at that little girl and she said, "What if he doesn't make it to heaven?" That little girl thought for a minute, and then she said, "Then you ask him." I love that little girl. You know why? Because that girl knew what she believed. She stuck to it. She had some backbone. Y'all, we gotta get some backbone. We've got to get spiritual, mental, and emotional fortitude. We have to have that backbone so we don't let anyone cancel God's plan and purpose for our life. We have to have that backbone so we don't let other people decide who we are. We have to have that backbone so we don't allow social media to discourage us from being who God created us to be. Don't settle for wishbone, get some backbone. And then know who your people are. You know, Jesus had his 12 disciples, but in the intimate times of life, he had his 3, his Peter, James, and John. Can I just tell you something right here? Having nobody is better than having the wrong somebody. Oh, y'all, that's good. See, you need people who fit into your destiny and not your history. Some people aren't able to go to the next level with you. And just because they sat with you in one season doesn't mean they are supposed to sit with you in the next season. Know who your people are. Get around people who propel you into your destiny. Guard your world. Don't share your business with everybody. Don't share your dreams with everybody. You don't have to tell everybody what you're doing in life. Handle your business without people knowing your business. Make more moves and less announcements. Work hard in silence. You don't have to tell people your plans. Just show them your results. Hey, y'all, this is your story. Make sure it's a good one. Make sure it's one that you're proud of. Make sure it's one that you're guarding. Don't just let anybody in on your story. Don't tell everybody. Just do what you're called to do. Live this life with purpose and make God proud. Hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. And until this time next week, I hope you stay cool and have an amazing day.